Hi.
Hi there, welcome back to Good Evening KU. My name is Al.
And I'm Julia.
And we're your hosts yet again.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today on this lovely but warm Tuesday evening.
Tell me about it. Goodness, I feel like I've been sweating through my shirt all day.
I feel like just on my 10-minute walk to class, it's unbelievable.
Hey,
it's like walking through the desert.
We're making do. Winter's right around the corner.
It's true.
And then we only have to deal with mounds of snow.
You take what you can get, honestly.
Exactly. So let's go a little bit into this past game on Friday, right?
Huge win against the Boston College Eagles.
Oh yeah, 48-24.
Yes, that is amazing.
I know, it was so fun to see that our KU fans went out and supported our team. In fact, even larger than their fan section was.
I know, who
Saturday
would have thought?
out, and look at that win right there, all of our KU fans supporting us. And even better, our KU fans sang the Rock Chalk chant once the game was over, showing our victory.
It was amazing seeing the fans so unified together, coming together to sing and support our team. Hopefully we get the same support for this weekend's game.
Oh yes, this weekend we play against
West Virginia.
This Saturday, I believe at 3:30, right?
Yes,
that's when the game
I think
starts?
so.
Awesome. Well, go ahead and see if you can make it out there. It is home, and even better, right?
And I think it's actually KU's family weekend too.
Perfect. So lots of families and everything coming together to support our fellow Jayhawks. So tell me a little bit more about your weekend. How have you been?
You know, it's been good. Not too exciting.
Okay.
I had an event with my sorority this weekend, so that was really nice. But other than that, it was pretty low-key for a weekend. Hung out a lot, relaxed.
It's nice to not have classes for those few days, right?
How was yours?
My weekend was great, you know, spent it by the pool, relaxing a little bit, soaking up the warmness. And then Friday, I actually went to the Natural History Museum Friday after classes. That's when my weekend starts, which was really exciting. You know, I actually got to go with my friend Mason, and we just toured the whole thing. It was great. They have live exhibits there, live animals, live bugs.
My gosh.
There's a whole fossil area where there's actual fossils from Kansas there.
Was there anything in particular that really stood out to you?
There was all kinds of stuff. The actual Demesosaurus, it's going to be, yes, exactly, a big word. It's a marine lizard, and it was found in Kansas.
That's amazing.
So I highly recommend going and checking that out. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, so it's free for KU students as well. Not sure if I said that or not.
That's perfect.
So yeah, go out there.
You all should go check it out.
Expand on your resources, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, how about you? Is there anything exciting that you want to let us know about?
Well, there actually is something happening around campus right now. It's called Stop the Hazing. It is a campaign being put on by Alpha Delta Pi, the sorority, and it is in support of this boy named Max, who unfortunately passed away due to hazing from a different school. So this campaign is going around campus to show KU support with Max's family and to hopefully stop the hazing.
Awesome. And can you just give me a little bit of background on that? Is hazing kind of the same as bullying, or is it hand in hand?
I would say that it's very broad.
Okay.
It takes on a lot of different forms, and it's very prevalent, especially in fraternities, which is where a lot of the issues happen.
Okay.
And, you know, it can include bullying, it can include mental bullying. Also can take a toll on your physical self too.
Sure.
So.
Well, it's very good to hear. Happy to spread the word around KU. You know, we're all friends, all family here, all fellow Jayhawks, right? Well, awesome. You know, I think that's all we have for today. I think we're going to come up with some news and some weather coming up soon. All right, some interviews as well. So, all righty, that's all from us. Thank you, guys.
Good morning, I'm Keely McCormick, and today I'm joined by Nancy Bocskor, who has a tremendous resume full of awards and accomplishments. So welcome to Lawrence.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be back in Kansas.
Yeah.
And I learned the history of rock chalk yesterday, and I posted that on Facebook because, you see, I love knowledge. So everyone in the world now knows why we say that here in Kansas. So I do my part to promote, promote the college. Absolutely.
So you've done a lot of work with women going into the workforce and helping girls take girl power up a notch. So Just tell me a little bit about your work with that.
You know, I used to tell people I want to open doors for people who had them slammed shut. I just moved to Texas about a year ago. I'm launching the Texas Center for Women in Politics and Public Policy at Texas Women's University. And I found there, women don't even know where the door is. And so I've just been very blessed in my career that my parents always were creating opportunities for me. So for now, it's what can I do to help empower women who didn't necessarily have, you know, a family that said you can be anything you want. My parents were pretty extraordinary when and my job when I was born from day one was you're going to college. So everything about my life was what can we prepare you to be the best student you can be. And it's sad to realize and kind of enlightening to see that not everyone had that. And I think that's part of the difficulties we're having as a country right now.
So what do you think some of the biggest hurdles young women face as they're entering the workforce?
The biggest gap is the confidence gap. It has not changed. Another study came out again last week. The confidence gap for girls start as early as age 6. And it's subtle. Sometimes, you know, boys are noisy, girls are good, right? And it may be the one that's waving the hand in the classroom is the one that's getting called on. But it's really sad to see that it starts there. And so my career with the boards I'm on, one of the boards I'm on is running START, and we've been around more than a decade now, and have trained more than 15,000 young women, starting at age 13. So every summer at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., we select 75 girls from age 13 to 18 and put them through a week-long political leadership. Because for young women, we are finding still in this day and age, if you want to run for office or you want to be powerful or you may be the noisy girl, you know, it's not necessarily, you're the nerd, right?
Yeah.
Hello, I feel like I'm uniting the fellow nerd girls around the world. But I say that because you should see them when they come to Georgetown and they're talking to other 13-year-olds who have already started nonprofits or they've already volunteered on a political campaign. And if I can whet their appetite, give them skills, and send them back with this confidence that it's okay to care what's going on.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty powerful, especially when we see this gap starting at 6. What can I do to really keep you on that path to public service?
Yeah, what are some other ways you think that women can close that confidence gap early on?
One of my favorite sayings is, change is difficult, to not change is fatal.
I like that.
And I have reinvented my career. I mean, no one in the world would think after 39 years of being, I have been in D.C. since a couple of months after I graduated from college. All of a sudden, there was an opportunity in Texas to go for it. Yeah. And I went, okay, this is a major change. But our generation is very different, especially yours, very different from parents and grandparents where you would go work at the same company for 40 years and you'd get your gold watch and you would retire. Now you can change. You've got to stay at this job for 2 years or you have to be here 5 years. The world has changed. And I find that many women in particular are scared of that. I was very fortunate. I was the youngest woman chief of staff on Capitol Hill by age 30. But I also had looked around when I was a younger woman in my career and went, how are the men getting to be chiefs of staffs or field directors at the Republican Party? And it was because they left D.C. for a while. You cannot just be in the same place. So my best friend and I, and it's funny, we were reflecting on this recently, she got an offer to go manage a congressional campaign in Beaumont, Texas.
Oh.
And when she lost the primary, she ended up in Indiana. I ended up moving to Nebraska in my mid-20s because I knew I had to run. I ran the Nebraska Republican Party. And so that made us so much more valuable when we went back to D.C. because we had managed something big.
Wow.
And so nobody told us to do that. We just observed it. And so a lot of young men will get in their car and go out to the middle of nowhere in Kansas to manage a long shot congressional race. And then they end up being chief of staff at 24. But a lot of young women will go, gosh, I'm going to move, I'm going to leave my family, and who's going to pay my health insurance, where am I going to live?
Yeah.
And it's trying to convince women, it's okay, take a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Because the people who are risk takers are rewarded. And that is still, to this day, the biggest hurdle I see that young women is, yeah, change is hard. But if you don't, you will be in the same spot forever.
Yeah. Change is good.
It is. It can be good. And even if it's not, it's okay. We don't have to stay at the same thing for 40 years.
When you shop local in the heart of the city, you support the people that make our community thrive. The money you spend here stays here, in this place we call our home. Lawrence, Kansas, where there's good old-fashioned hometown pride. Eat local, drink local, shop local.
I'm Chloe.
And I'm Gabriella. This is your Tuesday Good Evening KU News Update. Several projectiles struck the world's largest oil processing plant this weekend, taking out nearly half of Saudi Arabia's oil production and 5% of the global daily output. This attack has now sparked conversations about the security of the world's oil supply, with U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo blaming Iran and calling for action. This attack is the latest escalation in the already intense conflict between Iran and Saudi Arabia.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has banned the sale of flavored e-cigarettes. This comes after a number of people have fallen ill and even died from health complications surrounding flavored e-cigarettes. Last week, a Kansas man became the 6th person to die from vaping-related illness. The CDC has now tallied 6 deaths and 450 possible cases of severe lung injury as a result of vaping.
Actress Felicity Huffman was sentenced to 14 days in prison for her role in the college admissions scandal that broke earlier this year. Huffman paid $15,000 to rig her daughter's ACT scores. She is one of 12 defendants charged as a result of the scandal, including actress Lori Loughlin, who allegedly paid $500,000 to get her daughter on the USC rowing team. Loughlin is still awaiting a verdict.
Ohio gamer Casey Viner was sentenced to 15 months in prison for recruiting someone to make a fake emergency call that resulted in the fatal shooting of a Kansas man by police. He was also restricted from playing video games for 2 years. This incident happened in December of 2017 when a 28-year-old Andrew Finch of Wichita was killed by police during confrontation as a result of the fake emergency call.
The Kansas Jayhawks football team shocked its critics with a 48-24 road victory over Boston College on Friday. This was their first Power 5 road victory since October 4, 2008 versus Iowa State. KU will open its conference schedule by hosting West Virginia on Saturday, and head coach Les Miles expects a big and rowdy crowd.
We're going to have a home crowd that is spectacular. There is no question that this home crowd is going to be loud, eat a lot of food, drink. They're allowed to drink there now, right? They're going to drink and be loud and have fun, and we are going to play our butts off just as hard as we can. It's a good West Virginia team coming in, and they're worth it.
The KU volleyball team opened its renovated Horsch Family Volleyball Arena last Thursday with a victory over Morehead State. The reconstruction came as a result of the routinely sold-out games throughout previous years. The new arena has 965 more seats than last year's arena. Unfortunately, the Jayhawks lost to both Arizona and Syracuse over the weekend.
And the KU swim team plays second in the Open Water Championship at Lone Star Lake on Saturday. Senior Jenny Nussbaum, junior Chrissy Blomquist, and sophomores Katie Callahan and Claire Campbell battled it out against 23 other teams and 81 swimmers in total. The Jayhawks finished with 40 points, just 8 points behind Rice University.
And that will wrap it up for this evening's news update. After the break, Jade will be here to tell us how long this hot streak is going to last. Hi, welcome back to Good Evening KU. I'm Jade Steffensmeyer with your weather forecast for this evening. So right now, as you probably know, it is very hot outside. High of, well, it's not the high. Currently it's 91 and sunny right now. For the rest of tonight, it's going to get a little bit cooler throughout the evening, getting into the high 70s at around 9 o'clock tonight. For tonight's forecast, it's partly cloudy and 70 degrees is going to be the low tonight. Getting a little bit cooler than it was today. And then, so for this heat wave, a lot of you are probably thinking that it's been a super hot summer, a lot hotter than in the past. But actually, if you look back at 2018, it's actually, we've had 23 days of 90-degree highs compared to 57 in 2018, which I'm sure we're going to get a few more this week, but just in comparison to last year. For tomorrow's forecast, speaking of which, another day of high 90s, mostly sunny, 93 degrees tomorrow. And then nationwide, we do have a heat wave throughout the country, mostly in the Midwest and the South, as you can see, getting into the 90s and even 100s. Towards the south, and then even like the east and the west coast have high temperatures for September ranging from 80 to 70s on the coasts. And then the extended forecast for the rest of the week, so it will be in the 90s for the next few days, and then we're going to expect a lot of rain this weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we have expected thunderstorms, clearing up a little bit on Monday, and then back again on Tuesday we have thunderstorms once again. But that's all we have for you today on Good Evening KU. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.